you take away from this game?
I'm happy we won. Love Coach Jeter. Love what he's about as a person. Love what he's about as a player. I think we were much more us for more minutes of the game tonight than we were in the two neutral site games on Monday and Tuesday. I think that we have a long way to go on both ends of the floor, but I was encouraged by our spirit, our encouragement, and our passion, whether we were in the game or out of the game, relative to the players.
You said yesterday you weren't worried about DJ and what he does tonight. I mean, was it just a matter of him getting into an early rhythm, you think, or?
Yeah, I wasn't being a smart aleck to you yesterday, and I know you didn't take it that way. I think DJ's a really good player, and I think as a junior, I think he's a high major plus player, and I think he's taken more pride in being a primary defender instead of a secondary defender. I don't know that he's going to score 22 points every half, but man, when he's in a groove, I think he's really good, and it's never as bad as you think it is, and it's never as good as you think it is, and so he'll be somewhere in between what he had been the first 6 games and what he was the 7th game, and I think that'll end up being pretty good.
You seemed like you wanted to take Tone away, but at the same time, Gerard had a big night tonight. Was that the gamble that you were willing to take?
Yes, I think Tone Boyle is an elite level shooter. Like, can win a 3-point contest against anybody in the country. Can really, really shoot. I told our manager, I told him to count how many shots Tone Boyle missed in warm-ups. He missed 3 shots. I'm telling you, I think he can really, really stroke it. And I think, number one, he's great energy for his team off the bench. I think 2 changes the complexion of their team versus number 5 from last year. His body's different, his game's different, but I think it works really well. 21 can shoot, 3 can shoot, 11 can really shoot. 11, 21, 1, 2, 3. Those 5 kids, 54% of their shots heading into tonight's game were 3s. And so if you were to prioritize them, 11 is the best.
What was the thinking putting Junior in the starting lineup tonight? Just good week of practice, or?
Yeah, I thought he did good in Kansas City, and I think we'll see how it plays out. Vander and Jay are starters, but relative to our rotation, I think Junior plays better in spurts. I think Vander can play 99 minutes before he wants a sub. I think Bikes can play about 82. DJ's about 30. And so when you really look at it mathematically, Chris has kind of got the same problems that Junior has. He can really change the game, but he's only going to change the game for a 3-minute, 4-minute deal. We started out this second half on an 8-0 run, and the next blown whistle was going to be a media timeout. So Vander and Jay are at the scorer's table for over 2 minutes, and then they score the next 3 consecutive possessions. So our ATO score, the first ATO, is 8-7. But yeah, we'd started so great, but Junior and Chris, they played like 2 minutes too long, and they were just they're winded.
Some things you can't learn in practice is a situation with Jay where he's got that body like Bam Bam that he just has to mentally not worry about it and just go ahead and play physical and not worry about it?
Yeah, I think this is just my personal belief. See, I think 23 is a really good player. I think Jay's a really good player because they know who they are. They're not confused by who they are. And they want to mix it up. They want to play physical. Guys like 23 will cause big guys like Chris O'Toole problems because he'll beat him down the floor in transition. He's faster. His feet will stay free longer. But there's a flip side to that. Chris can cause them problems. Big guys. But Jay is going to be fine. I think he has great instincts. I think he can really score in a myriad of ways. He's a really good team defender. But we need him to be better overall than he was tonight, and I think that he will be.
Did you feel that UWM really stepped up defensively? something right, or was it a combination of those two things?
Oh, I always want to give credit to good players and good teams. I thought that they were much better defensively in the second half, and I thought I didn't think in the first half. I thought Jimmy Butler took one bad shot. I thought Junior Cadogan, who shot a three, was a bad shot. We had two bad shots in the first 20 minutes, and I thought there, from the 13-minute mark to the 7-minute mark, we were kind of teetering on going consecutive possessions without a paint touch, taking shots off two passes. I'm really not concerned about the passes as much as I am, did we get a paint touch? Because anytime you get a paint touch, the defense has got to converge. So then you force rotation. We don't want to take too many shots unless it's a post feed if we haven't forced rotation. And I thought in the second half we took too many shots consecutively without a paint touch. And the last thing I would say on Jay, maybe he did do pretty good. He had 9 points and 6 rebounds. He played half the minutes. That's pretty good turn. I still think he'll do better than that, though.
What do you think about making this more of a home and home?
Where you been?
Busy.
Good for you. A lot of people don't have a job.
I'm happy to have it. What do you think about making this more of a home and home series?
Well, I'll say this. I'm not good at being a politician. Rob Jeter has been very kind to me since I've been here. Bo Ryan has been very kind to me since I've been here. We want to beat Wisconsin just like Wisconsin wants to beat Marquette. We want to beat Milwaukee just like Milwaukee wants to beat Marquette. But I hope they win every other game that they play. And from a revenue perspective, from an RPI perspective, from a dates availability perspective, relative to whatever exempt tournament we're playing in, relative to the week that finals are, relative to the date that we'll play Wisconsin, all of those things have to mesh. All of those things have to be married at once. There is value in playing on the road. When you win on the road, RPI specific, you're credited with 1.6 points. When you win at home, you're credited with 0.6 points. Any team you play that's below a 200 in the RPI when you get to March, it's a wash. So there is value if you can win. Is it a rivalry and all of those things? I don't. Maybe because I'm from south of the Mason-Dixon line, I don't look at it the way some of the people from the Midwest do. I talked to Coach Ryan. I talked to Rob Jeter before the game, after the game, throughout the year, during the offseason, during the preseason. I have great respect for their path, for their team, for their craft, for how they go about it. But at the end of the day, at Marquette, I have a lot to do with the schedule, but not the final say in the schedule. Our AD, our president, our vice president, our deputy AD have more juice than I do. And I'm not dodging the question, but I know that all of those things that I mentioned as factors, they all have to come into play. This contract was signed when I was an assistant coach at Texas A&M. So that tells you how long it's been in works to become fruition.
Was this the game you always?
You got to show up more if you're going to dominate the questions.
Give me a meal, coach. I'm gonna say something. you talk about paint touches and the importance of paint touches on the offensive end. Did they get too many paint touches from the perspective of Anthony in the low post?
In the second half, way too many. We chart both of those. So 47 is our number for what we want to do. We've gotten more than 47 in every game. Tonight we got 47. That's unofficially. I'll watch the tape tonight. But our number for our opponent is 37 and a half, and they got way more than that. I don't know the unofficial number, but in the second half they got way too many. We had 61 against Gonzaga. I think 47 is probably a little too low off what I had studied in the off season, but we've done a great job of being accountable on paint touches. We've done an average job at best on keeping the ball out of the paint. We don't call it the paint on offense. We have a white tape along the lane line, along the lake line, 18 inches out, which is the size of the NBA floor. And so we call it the box defensively. We call it the box defensively, and then we call it the paint offensively.
Let it.